Good day to all. I am Guinevere Bacho from Grade 10 Copernicus, and today I will be discussing about the uses of sequence and series in real life. In this presentation, I will be discussing the following: arithmetic sequence, arithmetic series, and my own sample word problem. So now, let us start with the arithmetic sequence. So what is an arithmetic sequence? An arithmetic sequence is a sequence of numbers such that the difference d between each consecutive term is a constant. An example of this is the sequence 3, 7, 11, 15, 19, 23 is an arithmetic sequence with a common difference of 4. So how do we solve this? To determine the missing term or terms of an arithmetic sequence given its first and last terms, we use the formula a sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 multiplied by d, where an is the nth term, a sub 1 is the first term, n is the number of terms, and d is the common difference. Now let us move on with the arithmetic series, which is the sum of the terms of an arithmetic sequence. And there are actually two ways to solve this. If s sub n represents the sum of an arithmetic sequence with a finite set of terms, then we use the formula s sub n equals n over 2 multiplied by the sum of a sub 1 and a sub n, where a sub 1 is the first term, a sub n is the last term, and n is the number of terms. The second one is if s sub n represents the sum of an arithmetic sequence with an infinite set of terms, then we use the formula s sub n equals n over 2 multiplied by 2a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d, where a sub 1 is the first term, d is the common difference, and n is the number of terms. Now let us move on to the problem solving, which is entitled as Dimension Dilemma Rises, an application of arithmetic sequence and series. With few days left before their highly awaited return, talented rookie boy group enhypen is already gaining traction for their upcoming first studio album, Dimension Dilemma. On October 19, Hanteo Chart unveiled the sales amount of enhypen's first full album in the first week since its release, starting from October 12 to October 18. The album is said to have already sold 800,000 copies on its first week, and approximately 300,000 more copies were sold consistently per week that followed. How many copies did their album sell in its fifth week? What is the total number of copies that their album sold in its first 5 weeks? To answer the first question, we will use arithmetic sequence. The general equation for arithmetic sequence is a sub n equals a sub 1 multiplied by n minus 1 times d. 800,000 are the number of copies that enhypen's album sold in the first week, which is considered as the first term. The problem then states that their album continued selling a consistent number of 300,000 copies per week that followed, which means that as each week goes by, 300,000 more copies are sold. This means we can give the common difference, or d, a value of 300,000. Now going back, the question asked how many copies did their album sell in its fifth week. Therefore, we can say that n, or the number of terms, is equal to 5. Now, our equation is a sub 5 equals 800,000 plus 5 minus 1 times 300,000. 5 minus 1 is equal to 4, and as we multiply it with 300,000, we get 1,200,000 as a result. Now that we have 800,000 and 1,200,000 left, all we have to do is add them together, which results to 2 million. Therefore, their album sold 2 million copies in its fifth week. Truly amazing for a rookie group, right? Now let us continue with the second question. This time, we are tasked to find the total number of copies that their album sold in its first 5 weeks. With this, we must use the formula in finding the sum of an arithmetic sequence with a finite set of terms. The general equation for this is s sub n equals n over 2 multiplied by the sum of a sub 1 and a sub n. 800,000 are the number of copies that enhypen's album sold in the first week is considered as the first term. We also learned from the previous question that 2 million is the fifth term. Finally, n, or the number of terms, is equals to 5. Now, let us substitute these given numbers to the general formula. We now have an equation of s sub 5 equals 5 over 2 multiplied by 800,000 plus 2 million. If we add 800,000 and 2 million, we get a result of 2 million and 800,000. On the other hand, if we divide 5 by 2, we get a result of 2.5. Finally, all we have to do now is simply multiply the 2.5 and 2,800,000 together, which results to 7 million. Therefore, in its first 5 weeks upon release, enhypen's first studio album sold a total of 7 million copies. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you learned something from this video.